even tell you as to why that particular letter was written. And who was it written to? Who was it written to?
Yemen. Teman.
Who?
Yemen.
To who?
To the Jews of Yemen.
To the Jewish people of Yemen. Why?
Because there was a false messiah and there was persecution of
No, you don't know.
Yes, that's
you don't know. Go and do your research on the letter. Okay, wait. The Jewish people of Yemen wrote a letter to Maimonides asking him questions about certain passages in the Tanakh, in the Old Testament, in other words, that these prophecies, the Muslims are telling us in Yemen, that these prophecies apply to Muhammad. Okay, they apply to Muhammad. So for that reason, shall we convert to Islam or not? Are you listening, everyone? Yeah. The Jewish people of Yemen were overwhelmingly influenced by Islamic Dawah in Yemen. The Muslims were showing them passages in their scriptures where allegedly Prophet Muhammad was mentioned, according to the Muslims. The Jewish people were confused. They didn't know how to answer these claims. So they write to their greatest scholar in the world, who happens to be Musa bin Maymun, also known as Maimonides, living at the time in Egypt. So what does Maimonides do to dissuade them, to push them away from Islam? Okay, because I have read the letter, I have read his spins on the biblical passages.
What does it say about the
Maimonides, wait. Wait.
He allowed you to speak.
I am talking specifically of the letter. I'm not talking about a messianic movement in Yemen. I'm talking about the letter. Okay. So the letter was not about conversion.
It was completely about
conversion. Thank you. So
we're both right.
What I'm saying is
okay. What you're saying is
but I'm not talking about the messianic movement. I'm talking about the letter and why it was written and why it was responded to. Right? So the Jews of Yemen wrote this letter. So to push the Jewish people of Yemen away from Islam, Maimonides lied through his teeth, literally spinning the biblical passages in erroneous ways, unbelievable ways. If you read the letter of Maimonides, you will see what was this guy doing. And he lied through his teeth about his condition and the condition of the Jewish people in the Muslim lands, right? And this he did to push the Jewish people away, the Jews of Yemen away from Islam, because they were on the verge of converting to Islam. And many Jewish people throughout the Muslim history in Muslim lands converted to Islam because they were convinced that their books have passages referring to Muhammad or an Arabian prophet, whom they reject because he is simply not a Jewish prophet. He is an Arabian prophet descended from Ishmael. My point completed here on Maimonides, and your point dismantled. Therefore. Okay. So now next point was your next point. He made a second point.
Equality between Muslims and Jews.
And he talked about the massacres and 1 million.
Why Jews? They were not equal to Muslims.
And the second point he made was the Dhimmis. The Jewish people came back and they fought the Dhimma. Hold on a second. Joseph claimed in the second point that the Jewish people came back and they liberated themselves from Dhimma. But who were these people and where did they come from? They weren't even living with the Muslims. So what Dhimma status were they fighting? What they had no idea what Dhimma is. They never lived under Dhimma. Wait. Let me finish. Okay. And by the way, and what was the condition? What was the condition of the Jewish people under Dhimma? Okay. We have already amply discussed that point. That the Jewish people.
We discussed the massacres under the Ottomans. We discussed the massacres. Yeah?
So he will discuss the pixel, not the picture. He will ignore the picture and he will continue to magnify the pixel. The pixel is the picture. This is what Joseph is doing. So he will talk about Al-Muwahidun. He will talk about the massacre of Granada, and he will ignore 1,000 years history of peaceful coexistence. He will not discuss that because he's a Zionist. And this is how Zionists are, unfortunately. Okay, because Zionists are spin doctors. Okay, they are spin doctors. They have been spinning the whole world.
Drop the ad hominems.
Okay.
You can debate me without ad hominems.
Okay, now, let me finish. I have to pray. Let me finish. Okay, so what dhimma were the Jewish people fighting in Palestine, having come from Germany, having come from Poland, having come from Britain, having come from New York? Okay, what they did was these Zionists, according to him, mostly godless atheists who came from Western countries, they made the life of peacefully coexisting Jewish people in the Muslim lands difficult. What they did was they created a situation in Palestine. These atheistic Zionists who came from Western countries, according to Joseph.
This is your words.
No,
The majority of Israelis are from the Middle East and North Africa.
No, wait. Why? I'll tell you why. Because these Western Zionists, brother, you're disturbing me. I'm trying to finish. These Western Zionists came from Western lands. They created a situation in Palestine that caused the peaceful coexistence between the Jewish people and the Muslim people in the Muslim lands to be disturbed. They got disturbed, and as a consequence, they started to emigrate to the so-called State of Israel. And within some time, all of them either went to Western lands or they came to the State of Israel because of the situation caused by Western Zionists who came from Western lands, and they were godless according to Joseph. They were godless. The third point. What was the third point?
Yeah, which is why they became to 33,000.
Yeah, I've already addressed that. Jazakum Allah Khairan. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen.
Okay.
Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik.
Anyway, we'll be concluding here today because we have. That's no.
We can't.
We finished.
We can't. We have to pray because
Joseph.
they're going to come up with lies and we're going to have to shoot them for half an hour.
You are finished. Let's finish. Or you finished. So anyway.
But again, on a positive note, this is very important. On a positive note, do we hate Joseph? Even though Joseph is a Zionist, he's an Israeli. Do we hate him? Do we want to kill him? Do we want him destroyed? Do we want him to die? No. If anything, I have sympathy for him. He's our brother in humanity. As loyal as he is to a brutal state and a terrorist force in the land of Palestine, which is an occupier, we still have sympathy for him. We still invite him to the truth. We still want him to learn the value of justice and live by it. Okay, so that's closing remarks.
Sheikh, okay, then I'll get the closing comment.
Anyway, no closing comment. Anyway, I think our brother Adnan has addressed most of the points. He mentioned the last point that the number of the Jews in the Arab land it reduced from nearly 1 million to 3,000. Of course, this is what's happening because when you are causing a problem in Palestine, and then you are inviting everyone free citizenship, you take this salary, you do this, you do that. Of course, one of them they will immigrate rather than to stay, in a situation which is many of the Arab countries, they are poor countries, unfortunately. That's why they migrate to the State of Israel, thinking, or to the state, to the occupation state, you could say, who they think that it is a good choice for them. But again, I want him just to reflect, to reflect on the points that I mentioned. What happens from the State of Israel against the Muslims and against the Palestinian is exactly what used to happen to the Jews, the innocent one, by the Nazis. And that's exactly what we are warning our friends, our Jewish friends, not to get into this. Because at the end of the day, what you give, you will take. And we will conclude with here.
And we have nothing but sympathy for the people of Israel. We are not the enemies, the Muslims of the world. If the Zionists are telling you that their lives are in danger, the Muslims are after their blood, they are lying to you. We do not want anyone dead. We want peace and justice for all people. The Muslims coexisted with the Jewish people for over 1,000 years. Okay, and I strongly recommend a book for you to go and study from a Jewish scholar. His name is Jacob Lasner. He's an American Jewish scholar, and he has penned a book. He has authored a book, Jews, Christians, and the Abode of Islam. I repeat the title, Jews, Christians and the abode of Islam. Jacob Lasner, a Jewish historian, he will tell you what happened to the Jewish people throughout the abode of Islam for over 1,000 years, and the Christians, and then you will get the true picture. What the Zionists are trying to show you, that these Muslims are bloodthirsty, they want to kill. This is a lie. If that was the case, why did the Muslims protect the Jewish people for over 1,000 years against brutality they were facing at the hands of the Christian world? Okay, that's my last point, Joseph. Make it quick so that we can finish.
Make it quick. So he just spoke for 15 minutes, despite saying his was going to be quick. He gave it just the camera will be my record. He said when I gave my responses, make it quick. I have 30 seconds or so, so I made 2 points. I now want you to see on camera how many minutes they both took after they told me so you can watch the timer. I timed mine for about 2 minutes. And then they spoke for about 15 minutes. It's pride, so excuse us. So my closing points are really simple. They want you to believe that a million.
Respond, Joseph. It's
Adnan.
And you're gonna bury yourself more.
It's fine.
You're gonna bury yourself more.
Now all the Muslims are shaking. The Dawah channel are saying, cut it. So I've spoke for a fraction of the time of these. So I'm going to make my closing points. You can either leave it or you can walk away, or you can respond.
I would like to finish.
Okay, me too. But I want to respond to what you both said. I want to respond to what you both said.
Final point.
Perfect. They want you to believe.
30 seconds.
They want you to believe. Stop trying to bully me, Adnan. It's not going to work.
Do I look like a bully?
So
I just said I have sympathy with this guy.
So allow me to. If you have sympathy, allow me to tell my story.
Please.
Okay. Thank you.
But then I'm going to respond. And then you're going to want another response. It's gonna continue.
That's fine. We can do that. But I'm going to respond to what you just said. I'm not going to let you just say all of that huge monologue.
Guys, I think turn your cameras off. Okay.
There we go. The Muslim channels they're running. There we go.